you spook them and they don't have a way out, yes, they can hide. Typically, the moment they hear a car pull in or the garage door open, they're trying to get away. Because in the South, what do they risk?
Isn't it typical that they confront the owner?
Say it again?
Confrontation the owner?
That's correct. No, they don't confront the owner. They don't want a confrontation. Because in the South, what's the risk? Guns. Whether you have a gun or not, that's again something we get. It's a freebie. Whether you have a gun or not, that's the assumption in the South, is that there's a gun inside the house. So that's why they don't confront the homeowner, because who knows what the homeowner's going to do. Okay.
Does it help to keep your garage light on or any of the lights?
Great question. So light. So the best light is motion light. Okay. Now, by the way, if I say anything that's a violation of the HOA rules, you have to deal with the HOA first. A motion light's the best light. Don't think about what it lights up. Think about the information you get when it comes on. So if you have one on your garage door and you pull in late at night and it's already on, what does that tell you? Someone or something has been there before you. Typically for a motion light, we talk about putting it at your front door and your back door, because those are the two entry points. So if you can see it from where you watch TV or your master, it's even better. So imagine sitting in your den watching TV, it's 11 o'clock at night, all of a sudden the porch light pops on. It's good information, right? It's not about the light, it's about the information. Same thing in the back. Some of you may not have blinds on the back because you enjoy looking out. That's okay. It's your house. Your blinds. You do what you want. A lot of folks will say, I'm worried about somebody being out there coming to that door and I never see them. We'll put a motion light right there. Because then when that person gets close enough to the door to be a problem, the light pops on. So motion lights are the best. When we go out for dinner, what do?
Turn on the lights.
We turn everything off on the inside and we turn the light on the outside. Right? Is that not what we do? So how hard is it for me as a burglar to look for that? Leave a TV on. Okay? Make it look like your house is occupied. That's the key. Make your house look occupied while it's unoccupied. I know I'm sort of changing your thought process because this goes against everything we've always done. Here's the other thing. These are the real easy things. If you have, when's trash day for Enclave? Tuesday. On Tuesday morning, when I walk down the street, what do I expect to see? Trash cans. If you're not home, what's not out? See how burglary 101, you just did it. That's how fast that is. They don't watch the house anymore. That's too much work. We're talking about people that don't want to work for a living. They're waiting for trash cans. They're looking for newspapers. They're looking for flyers in the mailbox. Those are simple things. How many houses in Enclave?
Enclave like 20.
20 houses. So I've got 20, as a burglar, I've got 20 houses to pick. If I've got 2 that don't have a trash can out in the morning, or in the afternoon, what do I expect to see? All of them push back in. What if they're not pushed back in? Maybe you're not home from work yet. Maybe there's still that newspaper from the morning sitting there. Why not pick those 2 houses that potentially are unoccupied than to mess with the other 18 where I know someone's at least been home? See how fast that is? That's easy. So we want to try and avoid those kind of things. Those are small things we can do. Lights are a big way to help.
So how about having cameras outside? Will it deter them?
Great question. So cameras. When you talk about cameras, we have to be really, really careful. Now I know this is probably not a popular opinion. If you told me, Jeremy, I have $500 to spend, what would you spend it on? I would spend it on the physical things that keep that person from getting in. Because the camera will capture that person, an image of that person once they come in, but it does nothing to keep them from coming in. Okay? How many of us go to a bank and know we're being recorded? Yet how many bank robberies happen every day? It still happens. There is no deterrent. Right? The camera's not a deterrent. The camera might catch the person, but it's not a deterrent. Okay? So I want you to think about there's a place for cameras. Some cameras now have motion sensors inside of them, so they sort of, you can set up a zone of motion, and that's nice to have. But in terms of generalized cameras, there are oftentimes other places we can put our monies and resources that have a greater impact on keeping that person out, which again is my responsibility as a crime prevention person. Great question.
How often do you catch those guys?
The burglary guy that we have is very, very good. I would venture a guess that he catches about 40% of the folks that do it. And that's good, by the way. That's really, really good. Yes, ma'am.
Officer, does fence help?
Very good. So does your HOA mandate what type of fence you can have?
Yes.
What kind? What kind can you have?
Metal.
The metal with the black bars? Fantastic. So what a fence, you can't build a fence tall enough to keep me out, okay? I like the black wrought iron fence because you can see through it. So when you walk out on your back porch, you can look out into your yard. If you have a tall privacy fence, that's great for privacy, but the burglar will use that privacy as well. Whereas if you have that wrought iron fence, you tell everybody this is where my yard is. You can allow the dog to run and the kids to run. But I can also look out and see, hey, there's no one in my yard. There's no one about to jump into my yard. A privacy fence doesn't allow you to do that. If you had a big, tall wooden fence, what folks will do is if you put spaces in between the slats, you can do that as well to allow you to see through. But most of that's HOA driven.
So do you think using the bushes to...
All right, so bushes are, landscaping is a
good or bad?
massive deal, yes. So your landscaping, y'all are getting a whole assessment here, by the way. Landscaping, the bushes need to be 3 feet or lower than your window sill. So when I walk down the street, now you're new development, so you shouldn't have too many issues with that. But when I walk down the street, I need to be able to, as a good guy, see all of the bottom of your windows and your front door. If I can't see that, that's something you need to pay attention to. For your trees, you want the canopy of your tree to start at 7 feet and go up. So if you imagine your tree up here and your bush down here, you create a window where people can always see. And it's harder to hide. We don't want to provide hiding spaces. Just like we don't want to provide the rock that goes through the window, we don't want to provide a place where someone can hide.
So lots of construction activities
Yes.
behind the enclave and
Mhm.
estates. Is there anything the department can do or?
In terms of the noise, there are noise ordinance
Not the
violations.
noise,
Okay.
just like people coming from there, I don't know if the thefts are from those.
So here's how I know that's not an issue. Your map doesn't illustrate it's an issue. If they were bringing crime, we would see it. It would show itself. Does that make sense? You don't have an apartment community nearby, do you? No. A lot of times, sometimes folks will blame an apartment community, but they don't have crime. Okay? What some constructions will do is you might have an increase of solicitors because they're trying to sell things. We fall back into how to handle a solicitor at that point. But in terms of the construction itself, you will have construction site burglaries where they take things out of those houses that are in between finish, but it won't impact you all because you're actually residing in your houses. Once you can, there's a community way out up on 55 behind the Sheets. Everybody know where that's at? The new Sheets way up north. There's a community behind there that during construction they had 8 burglaries. The moment people started moving in, the burglary stopped. They don't want people inside. It's just not what these folks want to do. Now, are there outliers across the town where that's not the case? Absolutely. We're talking about trends. We're talking about general ideas as to what happens. But construction site, if you're not having noise issues, that's good.
The 2 houses that were burglarized were just behind the construction site,
Yeah.
which is why we feel that there might be somebody from there
Yeah.
observing.
No. There's no indication there for case.
I don't know if you answered this before, but did those happen like during the day, during?
Night.
There was one I noted that was evening. The very last one, the one on the 15th was an evening, late evening. The homeowner was away. In fact, the homeowner was away on 2 or 3, so for long periods of time. And again, we talk about that on the assessment, how to handle vacation and away time. So. Yes, ma'am.